Chemical Secret, Chapter 11. Before the last by one chapter. The headword, it's a little, but the chapter is too long. It's take 30 minutes until the end. In the audio, I mean. Now, first, many scientists and lawyers come to this city, and John Duncan arrived to his city from Mary. He was in her house, and when he reached, the lawyers invite him to the room or like a court to ask him some question and ask him inquiry, and they want him to answer the inquiry about the disease of the seal. So when he entered this room, he started talking with the lawyers. Some people shouted, but the policeman stopped them and told them, if you don't stop, we are going to take you out from this room. In this room, there is a lot of people. Mary, I think, his Darrell, Christine, and his son, Simon's husband of her daughter, and Mr. Wilson behind him, and the lawyers and the scientists and the people from the town and the worker and employee in the factory. There's 100 of them staring at him when he talking in the room. So the question, all the inquiry start from the lawyers, and he's only who's talking here with John. And the first inquiry is, are you working here? He talk about the dangers of these chemicals, and he tell them every chemicals has a dangerous. Most of them has a dangerous if we don't use it in the right way. But we are wearing the special clothes and equipment, and that prevent any dangers for any employer. And the lawyer said that's okay, that's fine. And then he asked him, are you putting this waste product into the river? He said yes, but this is not dangerous because the waste products, we put it in the river in the less amount. It's only 2 part per million into the river, and to the river beside the pipe. And when it's went or gone for the mouth of the river, it's going to be less than this amount, because the river going to mix with the sea. And the lawyer asked him if that dangerous or not, and he say it's not dangerous. John in this moment didn't see any or read any of the newspaper about her daughter when she was dying, when she was drowning. And he asked him many times, is that dangerous? He said no, it's not dangerous, and there's no anyone going to drink from that water because it's too salt. And he asked him if there's someone fall in that river and drink from this water by mistake. For example, your daughter. When he looked for her daughter, he saw her cold. Her eyes is cold. He think she's like that because she's pregnant. He remember his wife when she was pregnant, and Christine, she was like that. So he calmed down himself and say, no, there is no any dangerous who's drinking a little amounts into the river. And then the lawyer took the newspaper for John and tell him, read. When John saw the picture in the newspaper, he saw his daughter drowning. and his face to the wall with Simpson. And another picture, she was lying in an ambulance in the bed on the bed in an ambulance. So he looked at her scaredly, and the fear was in his eyes, and all the people can see that. And after that, he read all the newspaper, the most common, and he read the headline of the newspaper. The headline said, biologists Darrell nearly drowning in the river, with some picture. And after that, he felt so sad about her Darrell, and the lawyer tell him after that, your Darrell is fine and her baby fine too. After that, the lawyer take the result of an experiment to John, and he tell him, look for this an experiment. This experiment of some rats. The rats has some waste products in their water for some time, and they are born with no legs, something like that's dangerous. So what do you think about that? And what do you say? He told them the rats is smaller than the people, and the rats have 5 parts per million in their water, and that's 2 more than we put in the river. After a lot of talking, John was so angry, and you can see the fear in his eyes. That means he feels so angry, was scared. So he threw the newspaper in front of the lawyer, and the lawyer asked him some question, and he told him, you can go out if you after that last question or inquiry. And Mr. Wilson stood up, and he shouted angrily, there is no question like that. Of course he's going to be worried if you are talking about his daughter. Of course, she's her daughter, his daughter, and this is his first grandson or daughter. After that, Mr. Wilson said they quiet them, calm them, and let him sit down. And he answered about the last question, and Mr. John go out angrily with the fear in his eyes, and look around him for 100 people stare at him, and he was so afraid and sad about that, or about this screamed or no about this scandal in front of the people. So I'm going to see you in the last chapter, chapter 12, after this video. And that was the end. And this is, I read it and I listened for that chapter before, some minutes ago, and it was so sad. It made me feel bad, and bad emotion, because everything go worse about John. So I have to see you later. Thank you for watching this video.